Hey everyone, David Lee here, Senior Consultant with Ambit Energy. I'm driving home right now, so apologize if the phone camera's shaking a little bit, but hopefully I can get it to work okay there. Just want to do something really quick. Was thinking a lot last night and today about getting help and getting coaching for your business, especially if you're new, but not that doesn't just apply to anyone who's new in Ambit Energy or any sort of networking business, home-based business. Even if you're in some other type of I know some realtors are part of groups like that. But so I've been on some kind of coaching calls recently with some people on my team and just kind of helping them out. Just some tips and just kind of combing through some of the struggles that they're having, but also some of the things that they're doing well. But just always realize the importance of reaching out for help and for advice. That's what your team is there for. That's why the business is structured as a team. I think sometimes with most people, and I was certainly this way, early on, is that there's a big disconnect with what most people are used to working a job, for a company. If you have several levels of bosses or supervisors, most people in those situations they're almost afraid to ask for help or ask for advice or ask, okay, how do I do this? What's the next step? What's the next step? I think because that's probably seen as sort of a negative in the corporate world, in corporate America. It almost gives off the vibe that you don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to do your job if you're constantly asking for help and asking for advice. But the exact opposite is true in this type of business. You should be asking for help. You should be asking questions. You should be asking for advice and coaching calls, just as often as you can, and make it a regular occurrence. Make it daily if you can, twice a day. Talk to your leaders. Talk to your in Ambit it's your senior consultants, your executives, and maybe even your national consultant. Ask them if you can call them once a day. Set up a time in the morning, or at lunchtime on your lunch break, or on your drive home from work, and just check in with them. Sometimes that could be just a sorry for the glare there. Just looked at that. Sometimes that can be just maybe just a 2 or 3 minute quick phone call, catch up. If you're inviting people to look at the business, or checking out their bill and see if they make sense to be a customer, do that 2 or 3 times, and then call for some coaching. A perfect analogy is sports. Say football. So your team goes out there, you run a few plays, and then what do you do when you come to the sidelines? You talk to the coach, or you talk to the coach who's up in the by the press box. The greatest athletes in the world do that. The greatest athletes in the world are still practicing blocking and tackling. They're still practicing layups and free throws. They're still practicing, ground balls and batting practice. Think about golfers and batters. How many tiny things did they tweak, throughout their entire careers with their batting coach, or their different types of golf coach, and even the caddy that they're that's with them when they're playing. People on the outside who are better at it than you, or who have just done it longer, they can help you tweak things to help you get better. But you've got to have the initiative to reach out for that and let them know what you need. Let them know what help you need. And just kind of go over your activities so that they can find the areas to tweak and get better too. And again, it's just like a batting coach. They can see things that player is doing that player may have no idea he's even doing it, just because sometimes you don't realize you're doing something, but somebody on the outside can see it. So don't ever be afraid or ashamed to reach out for that help. It makes all the difference in the world. The team is there for a reason. And even find other consultants who aren't even part of your team. Ambit Energy has an awesome culture of people helping each other, even if they have a financial interest in it or not. They may not be tied to each other financially at all, but they're still willing to help each other. Find other consultants who will be willing to do that. Get around those people, go to meetings, meet some people, have your team, your upline team, introduce you to some of those people who can help. So, but that's going to have to start with you, though. You've got to reach out for it and ask for it. And I promise you, your leaders who take this business seriously want you to contact them. They want you to reach out for help. They want you to call them and text them with questions. I would love it if my phone constantly rang with my team asking me questions, but I've also got to look at myself and am I asking enough questions of my coaches and my leaders? Am I reaching out to them enough? And the answer is probably no. I keep in pretty close contact with them, but I'm probably not reaching out for help as much as I should. So I hope that helped. Sorry that was a little longer than I wanted it to be, but I hope that helped. If it helps you, please share it, or if it can apply to anything else that you're doing. Hopefully that helped. And please leave comments about any tips that you have, anything you feel like I missed. I definitely want to learn for what helps you. Where do you see the difference being? So, but thanks for stopping by.